In here, welcome back to the channel, and today we'll take a look at the CCA Falcon Dual Dynamic Driver IEM. Retail price for this is $25 and if you're interested to find out more, do check out the unaffiliated link down in the description below. So I've spent some time with this and today I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts and opinions about this CCA CRA. So let's begin first with the accessories. Straight out of the box, you'll get a pretty standard cable and ear tip, and I do suggest to use your own third-party cables and ear tips to maximize the sound quality of the Falcon, but nevertheless it comes with a high purity dual strand OFC cable utilizing a 0.75mm 2-pin connector and a standard array of stock silicone ear tips. But if you opt for the Type-C variant, it actually includes an inline spatial audio chip 2.0 that handles hardware level 7.1 surround decoding, complete with a physical button to switch between game mode, bass boost, spatial surround, and hi-fi modes. Moving on to the design and build quality, the design here is pretty striking for a budget IEM. You get this precision cut alloy metal faceplate with a glossy, almost chrome-like finish that feels very premium. That metal faceplate is fused to a lightweight transparent resin cavity, which looks pretty cool because you can actually see the dual dynamic drivers is sitting inside. And as for the build quality, I would say it's pretty incredibly solid. The faceplate is vented to optimize airflow, and despite the metal front, there are no sharp edges. Everything is smooth and well machined. Now in terms of fit and comfort, despite that alloy faceplate, each earpiece only weighs 7.8 grams. The fit and comfort are absolutely excellent because the part actually touching my ear is made of resin. I don't get that cold metallic shock when I put them in. The ergonomic shape locks perfectly into my concha, and thanks to that vented design, there is almost zero pressure buildup. I've worn these for hours on end and my ears never felt fatigued or stuffy. Alright, so now let's talk about technical specifications. Under the hood, the CCA Falcon is running a custom dual dynamic driver configuration. It pairs a 7mm dynamic driver specifically for the highs with a larger 8mm dynamic driver handling the mids and lows. Both utilize the LCP composite diaphragm, and it has an impedance of 25 ohms, sensitivity of 104, and frequency range of 20 to 20,000 Hz. Now in terms of compatibility, I've tried this with my MacBook, PC, DAPs, and DACs, specifically putting it through its paces with my Hi-B R4 and FIO KA15. And because of its sound signature, I recommend pairing it with a slightly warmer source to smooth out some of the energetic upper frequencies and give the mid-range a bit more musical body. Now moving on to the tone and timbre, the Falcon definitely leans towards more of a digital feel because it is heavily marketed and tuned as an FPS gaming IEM. The transients are razor sharp, giving it a very precise, fast edge rather than a smooth analog decay. It sits firmly on the cooler side, which is more analytical of the spectrum. The balance heavily favors the upper mid-range and lower treble to force out positional cues and micro details. Things sounds very clean and articulate, though you do sacrifice a little bit of that natural organic warmth in favor of sheer clarity. Alright, so now let's talk about the technical performance. First, the soundstage. The width is nicely extended, stretching just past the ears. Depth is good, but the 3D projection and holography are actually the standout features here because it's tuned to help you locate sounds in a 3D space. It projects a very convincing acoustic sphere around your head, and the height is actually pretty average. As for sound separation, the dual dynamic driver crossover puts it to work. The separation between the low end impact and the sharp treble cues is very distinct, keeping the bass from muddying up the mid-range. As for sound layering, the left to right channel distinction is laser focused. Imaging precision is top notch, especially in busy mixes or chaotic gaming environments where you need to pick out exactly where a sound is coming from. As for detail retrieval, it excels at pulling micro details in reverb tails and background elements. Low volume articulations like distant footsteps or like cymbal taps are very easy to hear. Performance scales well, though at very high volume, those details can get a bit aggressive. As for resolution, overall sharpness and refinement are fantastic for a $25 IEM. The macro versus micro resolution balance tilts heavily towards micro resolution, easily distinguishing overlapping instruments and giving you a highly analytical picture. Alright, so now let's talk about the overall sound signature, and I would say it is an energetic, bright, leaning V-shape tuning that is unapologetically designed for competitive gaming and analytical music listening. It actively pushes that 2 to 8 kHz region forward to give you that maximum clarity. Alright, so let's dive into the specific frequencies. The sub-bass extension goes pretty decently deep. It prioritizes tight control over mass rumble. You get that fast textured sub-bass that knows exactly when to get out of the way to avoid any bloated feeling in the mix. And as for the mid-bass, the impact and punch are fast and snappy thanks to that LCP diaphragm. The note weight is pretty on the leaner side, which is a very deliberate tuning choice to guarantee zero bleed into the mids. As for the mid-range, clarity of vocals and instruments are pristine. The lower mids are a touch recessed, making male vocals sound a bit leaner, but the upper mids are very forward, bringing female vocals and string instruments right up to the front of the stage. As for the pinna gain, the ear gain rise is aggressive. It is tuned to highlight directional cues, so tonal accuracy in the upper mid-range is sharp and crisp. However, because of this forwardness, it can definitely flirt with shoutiness or sibilance if you are sensitive to this region. And we come to the treble. Extension is great, offering plenty of air and sparkle. The perceived resolution from the treble content is very high, but the trade-off is that it can borderline on harshness or peakiness. It might cause fatigue during long, high-volume music listening sessions, but for critical listening, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. Alright, so that's the overall sound signature of the CCA Falcon. Now let's compare this with another IEM, the CCA CRA. In terms of technical performance, the Falcon easily edges out the CRA in technicalities thanks to the dual dynamic driver setup and LCP diaphragms. The Falcon offers much faster transients, superior imaging precision, and noticeably better sound separation. Alright, so let's conclude. At around $25, the CCA Falcon is a specialized tool that performs way above its price point if you understand what it's built for. If you want a warm, lush IEM for relaxing on the couch, well, this is not the one. But if you want a highly technical, sharply resolving in-ear monitor that doubles as an incredible budget choice for gaming and picking apart the micro details in your music, well, it is an absolute steal and a highly recommended buy for me. Alright guys, that's it for my overall thoughts and opinions about the CCA Falcon. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. My name's Ian, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.